The food web shows the flow of energy through sagebrush steppe ecosystem. Which of these organisms are in a trophic level that receives the most energy from the producers? Okay, so let's highlight a couple of important terms. So it tells us this is a food web, which we should be familiar with. Okay, it talks about trophic levels, and then it wants to know which one receives the most energy from the producers. Okay, so let's go ahead and brainstorm a couple of things. Okay, so first of all, remember that trophic levels, those are the feeding levels. Okay, so that's going to be like a producer, primary consumer, secondary, etc. Okay, so it wants to know which feeding level gets the most energy from the producers. Okay, now remember, producers are going to be things like plants. Okay, so something that makes its own energy. Okay, they get their energy from the sun. So if we go through and first of all, just try and find our producers. Okay, that's what we want to find first. Producers are going to be at the bottom of the food web, and they're not going to have any arrows pointing towards them because they make their own energy. Okay, so if we look here, here's one producer, here's another producer, and here is our last producer. Okay, and this specific question is saying who receives the most energy from the producers. So what we're really looking for is who's eating the producers. Okay, remember the way that it works, producers will get 100% of the energy because they're making their own. And then the primary consumers, they're going to get 10% of that energy. Okay, and then the secondary consumers would only get 1%. Okay, it goes down by 10% each trophic level we move. Okay, so whoever's getting the most energy from the producers is whoever is eating the producers. Okay, so primary consumers, that's going to be who's eating our producers. So what we want to do is go figure out who our primary consumers are. Okay, so if we look, all we have to do is figure out our arrows that come from the producers, okay, and see who they're pointing towards. Okay, and those are going to be our primary consumers. Okay, so I think we have gotten all of those lines drawn now. Okay, so our primary consumers would be the ground squirrels, the insects, and the pronghorn and other grazers. So one of those three has to be who gets the most energy from our producers. So all we have to do is look down at our answer choices and see which one of those match.